Alrighty. Part 3. Already are those. Near the intro. Problem. Oh shit. Oh dude, this is gonna be good. Oh, there's gonna be so much complaining about this one. The reduced reservation stat provides very little benefit to low values, but becomes very powerful when heavily invested in. Oh dude, this sentence, they used this exact sentence when talking about the AoE nerfs like 5 years ago. Because that's how scaling AoE used to work as well. Like the more of it you had, the more value the next point was. Which means RMR is gone. It's not in the game anymore. This allows players to run every aura in the game. It also forces research to be balanced around extreme levels of investment, limiting how useful it can be for characters that do not run enormous numbers of it. I wonder if they're going to remove the jewel corruption. They might. Finally, characters that heavily invested in reservation in order to run more excellent mana were also able to reserve life extremely effectively as well as with no further investment. Yeah, so basically stacking RMR is too OP. Place. Oh, this is a fucking last epoch term. Place reservation reduction with reservation efficiency. When stacked, it does not allow for infinite auras. This can be given out much more liberally as a result, letting characters run additional reservation effects with only a couple of sources of it. The average character benefits, but the top end of extreme reservation has been made significantly weaker. This sounds like it's also kind of killing solo aura stacker. We'll see. So like, might get hit in the crossfire, but it's whatever. The hell? Computer, you're being weird. Alright, that time was actual real ads from Moobot. So that means no more pre-roll ads for everyone coming in during this, which is always nice. Pre-rolls suck. Alrighty, modifiers to reservation have been replaced with reservation efficiency. It works by driving down the cost of the reservation effect. 100% increased would halve the cost of all auras. Okay, dude, this might be insanely good with the new powerful Grace and Determination auras. Might be easier to fit those in on non-aura stacking builds. Not zooming in? What? I feel like it's already very large. I don't know. This looks good to me. Y'all want this? Like, this maybe? My eyes have to move so much to read this. This is like fucking 20 inches of text. Oh yeah, this also could be good for Spellslinger too. So like my Spellslinger VD DD build ended up traveling through Shadow to Charisma to make the Aura Reservation work. So this might make that not necessary. The problem with VD DD though is there's no clusters for it. Like there's no medium clusters that are really good offensively. I think I mean there's some good defensive mediums with the new Aura stuff for sure. But offensively, you kind of can't spend points. But maybe you can do like double medium. The problem with area damage is there's only a single useful area damage notable. So you'd be playing a medium cluster with one notable. It's like really weird. And it's a good notable. It's life area damage, but like the rest are all kind of bad. But you could play like double aura medium, assuming obviously I'll get there. We'll see if that still exists. But if the aura like the termination reduced reserve is still really good, you play like two of those with like grace and determination, and hopefully get those to be really cheap. That'd be badass. If any build could deal damage while running grace and determination, like that build would be so tanky. All right. So basically, this whole text is them talking about converting reduced mana reservation to mana reservation efficiency. Generally at double the values, sometimes different. Small amount is more powerful than before. High investment doesn't allow as many hours to be used. The vast majority of reservation efficiency is offered is now mana specific. That's gonna make Petrified Blood builds a little awkward. Maybe it depends. Like with Petrified Blood right now, unless you have like a playable 25%, which technically every single class does, because you can just run an aspect. It can be like kind of awkward to reserve half your life. Like the last character that I made was a champion T-shot build that runs arrogance, determination, dread banner, precision, vitality. Because with like some cluster stuff, and like that probably wouldn't work anymore with these changes if I had to guess. Generic efficiency and life preservation efficiency are still available on some item modifiers. I wonder if they killed Prison Guardian. We'll find out. Not mentioned below, also that previously provided reduced reservation, including for specific skills or types of skills, now provide increased mana reservation efficiency at twice the value. So I assume that means like determination clusters, medium, instead of being 30% reduced, is now 60% efficiency, which means 2 of those, instead of making it 20%, would be, oh, is there here? Yeah. So basically 2 of them before would make your 50% reservation 20%. Now 2 of them will give you 120% efficiency, which is like almost the same thing, right? It's very close. It's like a little worse, but it's not worse by enough to matter, at least for that character, which is cool. And it's 100% for 35 auras. Yeah, that's really cool. I think a lot of builds are going to use medium aura clusters to try to fit in like the new super powerful auras. Sanctum of Thought. I don't think I've ever played a build that spec this. I'm not reading about helmet enchants. Oh shit! They kept this jewel implicit. I'm really surprised. I guess it's a lot more fair now. The problem with this implicit existing when it was RMR was the problem that every single point of RMR after the first was better than the point before it, and going from 70 to like 75 to 80 is just absurd. But now that that's not how RMR scales, it's like a little more fine to exist. And also, without this dual implicit, it's really fucking annoying to Petrified Blood a 25% aura, because the multiplier on arrogance is 201%, which exactly bricks you. Like you need a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of reservation efficiency, so you can still just go 1 jewel to fix it. Skyforce. I wonder what this means for Essence Storm. Probably nothing, because it's still just double. 21 arrogance, so it doesn't fix it. I think 22 arrogance does. Nice, I'm glad they did this, so you can still do the good shit. I wonder what they're gonna do with Dread Banner. Because there's a, is that mentioned here? I don't see it. Because there's a notable that gives 50% reduced reservation of banners, and then when you have 2 of those, it's just free. But if instead that's 200% mana efficiency, it's not going to be free anymore. It'd be like, what, 3% mana or something? Oh, Prison Guardian got fucked. Oh, God. Yeah, Shaper Hunter got hit really hard too. This as well, a lot of the items are not getting at all like 2-to-1 conversions. I didn't use this anyway. I know K's Spectre build used this, but I just used to use the rare helmet instead. The difference is that 50% reduced mana reserve makes the aura cost half, whereas to get the same with efficiency, you need 100% increased efficiency. And scaling that 50% reduced mana reserve to 100% reduced mana reserve makes it free, and that's the problem. Because every point you get closer to 100%, like, it is more and more impactful. Whereas with efficiency, it's not. Like, going from 100% efficiency to 200% then makes it, like, what? It makes a 50% aura, like, 17% or some shit mana. %50% increase efficiency. How much effect is there in Templar? Isn't it 16%? 19% if you take Devotion? So no, wait, that's effect, not RMR. The RMR is it's 14% RMR, so it'd be 28% RMR. Yeah, I need new POV. I need it now. All right, that was this. Problem: characters specialize in maximizing the power of auras provide an absolutely insane amount of damage and defense to party members, making a party with an aura specialized character so much more effective than one without. Solution: remove sources of aura effect from cluster jewels and move the aura cluster jewel types to small cluster jewels. It is no longer possible to continuously stack aura effect for parties. Introduce new cluster jewel notable to increase the effect of auras on you. Okay, so it's smalls now instead of mediums. So you can't get two passive mediums anymore. But this does mean that you don't have to sacrifice mediums to run auras, because mediums are typically, for a lot of builds, really, really good offensively. So now you can run good offensive mediums, and then also some aura smalls for things like this, or for things that reduce like aura reserve. Oh, and these give reservation. Oh, this is really good. Let me think about numbers again. I said Templar had 14%, so it's gonna be 28%. So this will give 40% with a single cluster. Dude, I need new POV. I need it now. Yeah, aura bots are still gonna be really good, but it won't be as insane. Like, before clusters were in the game, before you had all these unique items to stack RMR and corrupted jewel implicits, before Valors were in the game, supports were still insanely good, and by far like the best shit ever. Just it'll be impossible to like make supports not good. But you won't be just getting 90 all res and 200 times more damage. Like, for aura bots to be, the problem with auras is there's no decrease in effective auras based on like the number of players that it's helping. It's like trying to balance auras. Like, the only way for auras to be like fair is if they're literally not worth running in like a 2-man party. Because if they're worth running in a 2-man party, they're like completely stupid in like a 4-man party. But it's just party stuff. Like, party play in PoE has never been balanced, and it probably never will be. Which is good. I hope they never try to balance the game around party content. Custom Jeweled notable passive skills have all had aura effect remove. All they nerf mastered command. Purity stack and viable for normal builds. I played that in Metamorph. I ran Tri Purity on my Summoner Metamorph. It was viable enough to win 8k, so it's probably still viable now because that was after all the boss HP buffs. Add a cluster of notable passives that grant high amounts of reservation to specific auras. Oh, so that they're adding new ones. So yeah, that's cool. Because like the current cluster duels don't have a lot of the auras included in their things they can roll. Yeah, it seems like aura effect is like getting dumpstered, and for low investment, reduced mana reserve is more powerful, so that characters that are not highly invested into auras are better off, and characters that are trying to run 22 auras are worse off. Which I think 99% of people can agree is a good thing. Are auras even good without aura effect? Yes. Some are. Like, the new defensive auras, Grace and Determination, are fucking insanely good. They are so good. It's like, having better sources of reduced mana reservations that builds can fit those in addition to their offensive auras, is really good. And Flesh and Stone being removed from the game, mostly, means that a lot of builds that like felt like necessary to run that for defense probably can they run like Zealotry if they're like a spell build, plus like Fit and Determination, plus some other random shit based on whatever you're doing, and it should be like a lot easier to make that fit with the new RMR changes. Like I think I'm gonna try to fit in the Determination and Molten Shell on like so many characters now. Grace plus Hatred, Hatred plus Haste. Haste is just so bad nowadays. But Hatred, yeah. Like Hatred, Grace. Dude, Grace is nuts. Grace is a little worse than Determination, but they're both good. Alright. Yep. Curses always the same problem as auras. Yep. I'm really interested in this. Because like so many builds run curse rings. Let's see what this is like. They're on smalls instead of mediums. Oh, that's actually probably a decent nerf for yeah. Like there was really good medium clusters. Culling a nerve, yeah. Culling a nerve is so good. Culling Evil Eye, culling. I think that's the blind one. It shows more useful for characters using only one or two curses. We've greatly improved the cluster of notables, granting benefits to specific curses, as well as added new ones. And they can only spawn on curse ones. This means you can't get Misery Everlasting on Chaos anymore. Because currently you can get Misery Everlasting on Chaos and Curse. They're going to remove it from Chaos. Alright, let's see how much they buffed it. Evil Eye, Wishes of Death, and Dark Discourse. Evil Eye was the curse enemies take 5% increased damage plus blind, right? I don't know what... Is this a nerve? I don't know what this is. In general, curse that applies to all curses no longer exists. Okay, so they're buffing things you can specialize in, but nerfing overall curse effect. These are all of the curses, just standard offensive curses. Flammability, Frostbite, Conductivity, Despair, Vulnerability. They're all 40% instead of 25. I don't think I'd ever see myself using this. Maybe on like a bleed build or a TR build. But like 40% increase effect of these curses isn't very good versus actual hard in-game content. It's very good versus like trash mobs that don't have 1/3 curse effect on them, but 40% is probably not enough in most cases. Forbidden Words no longer grants 5% increase of curses, and now grants reservation efficiency. Damn, that's like 5 times the buff on that. Make Blasphemy a little bit better. What, like, I just hate Blasphemy, like, nowadays. I feel like they really botched Blasphemy when they nerfed the area of all skills back in, like, 2015. Like, Blasphemy just hasn't recovered. It's way too small. It used to be with, like, medium investment in area, it reached the edges of your screen. Now, with, like, literally every area node on the entire tree, it doesn't even get halfway. Like, it's just so fucked. They're adding effective curses for all of these. I don't know. I don't see myself using any of these. Like, Mark for Death, like the culling one, is probably worth 2 points in some cases. I mean, actually, even is it? I don't think it is. I think it almost never is unless your build's a build that has really bad point efficiency. Because to use a Mark for Death cluster for 2 points, you're giving up a jewel slot and 2 passive points. A jewel slot is already worth 2 points just by definition, and then it's 2 extra points for spending like 4 points for 10% coal. Like, I don't see myself ever doing that. Is this Spellslinger really bug with an investment? It might be, hopefully. Like, Spellslinger got fucked really hard. Like, if these Aura Reserve changes make it so I can play more Spellslinger builds now, God bless. Weapon stop calling? That's psycho, dude. The PB background music? You're right, sorry. I don't even know what this item is, so I don't really care. Damn, they nerfed this ring. This ring already sucked, right? Because it has like -1 max curses. They nerfed Jinx Juju as well. F. Jinx Juju is really good for summoners. It probably will still be really good. Alright, this is the stuff I'm more interested in. Like, fuck the aura stuff, who cares about that? But this, elemental damage over time. The elemental damage over time effects of cold damage over time, burn, and ignite are 2 dependent on EO and EE. Ignite are 2 dependent on ignite damage multipliers on skills and gear. And, like, a huge issue with the ignite builds is they have to be balanced around, like, softcore trade, which you can get, like, fucking 80% faster ignites with dot multi on 4 different items. So if you have literally every item influenced, you can make it ignites do damage. If they're all like woke orbed, elder fucking items with Blasphemer's Grasp and all this shit, like, then you can make it do a lot of damage. But what about if you don't have that? Greatly improve the base strength of ignite, burning and cold damage over time, making EO and EE less powerful. You recommend reading EE and EO first? Where's that? I mean, that's gonna be in one of these 3. It doesn't matter where it is. Like, which one is it? I mean, you should read the bottom first. Okay. The EO massive now gives more hit and elemental damage to skills if they crit in the last 8 seconds. This means you can't use a second rapidly hitting skill, making small investment much more important. This does not. Is it still 40%? This matters for cold dot. Doesn't matter for most of my slinger builds. Yeah, this like breaks cold dot, it breaks RF, but I assume those are being buffed in commentary. EE now applies exposure. So that one's gone as well. We're looking at pure minions. You better fucking look at pure fizz minions too, with those armor changes. Move to EE, keep some message to the ranger section of the skill tree where there's much less access to exposure. I mean, that makes sense. Like, this change makes sense. Because of the change to EE, you're not going to be using it on, like, cold dot builds anymore. Or fire dot. The builds you will use it on are Wild Strike and what's the fucking other one? Elemental Hit. Which are typically bottom right builds. So, like, this makes sense. And also, this just makes Raider less mandatory for that. EE plus Trinity is huge for those builds, yeah. Like, those builds typically pathed like 6 passive points above the life wheel to get EE because it was that good. But also, this is like a huge nerf for those builds because those builds already had 20 exposure from Raider, and this gave them minus 50 resist, and now they don't have that. Like, there's definitely a lot of builds that are gonna be like kind of get caught in the crossfire of these changes. All right, and then what else is done here? More skill options added to the builds in the passage tree. This is huge for sure because, as well as items, because a huge problem with dot builds, it's impossible to find dot builds that aren't running at least 1 cluster and probably 2 full cluster setups because there just aren't things in the tree. There are not 5 tiers of dot multi, so this is like an extra. This is an extra 10%. This is an extra 8%, respectively. Oh, all amulets global dot multi 26%. That's massive. Yo, you know who's not getting nerfed by these changes and uses dot multi? Toxic Rain. The influence modifiers and rings that had a chance to ignite free shock, as well as some flat damage have been changed. Yeah, I mean, this is good, but this, like, the buffs to these numbers catch up from when they were first added to the game to like 2015, 2016 power creep. Still not quite enough for 2021 power creep. Essence of Delirium no longer does all this stuff. Instead it gives 15 dot multi on rings. I never even knew this was a thing. It used to be 10, now it's 15 on rings. Oh, it was amulet only? Okay, so it used to be Doom on rings, dot multi on amulets, now it's dot multi on rings and Doom on amulets. Okay. Yeah, dude, fucking just Trade League dot builds are gonna be so disgusting. You're gonna have your fucking Essence of Delirium necks or rings, you're gonna have your necks with 26 dot multi, with chaos dot multi, with +1. Fire cold fit. Oh shit, buff these two. Okay. They're 100%. There's nerfs to TR and poison somewhere in this in this text. I'll find it. All jewels can roll faster damage ailments. That's huge for Ignite. It's a prefix though, which is like a bitch to roll because you want life percent plus it. That's decent. I don't care about that. And they buffed out multi here. What is this shit? I already played TR 3 times last league. Fuck. I'm playing TR again. I do want to play a right side build for sure. Spell suppression sounds so nice. Like spell suppression over spell dodge is just so, it's so powerful. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to play Poison too. The thing with Poison is like, there's a few Poison builds that I'll look into playing. TR Raider though, I have absolutely no ascendancy or no clue what ascendancy TR would be now. I think there's a very good chance it is still Raider, like very good chance it's still Raider, but I'm not positive. Yeah, you gotta see Trickster buffs, gotta see where Ghost Shroud is in the tree. Important to think that these are exclusively elemental changes. They're not. Like this is global dot multi. This specifically mentions fire, cold, physical, chaos dot multi. TR Lost Blind? Yes. TR Raider will be way squishier this patch than it was last patch. Every single Raider build will be way squishier this patch. But my TR Raiders had 4 times the EHP of my Slammers from previous gauntlets. Like, them losing avoidance-based defense is fine. What about max hit taken though? Yeah, exactly. Their max hit taken has not been decreased really by any meaningful change, but their avoidance is worse. But they're still gonna have so much avoidance that it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's doubling versus spells, but it's not like super doubling because you're losing the spell block. Ads. All right, we wait. Someone let the plebs know we're waiting. Some streamers have been crying the whole day about how Raiders gonna be unplayable. Nah. What number streamer am I? I think I was like between 7 and 8K on the list. 4-digit streamer. That's me. I gotta spam these ads so that I can get up to fucking top 5K. Alright. Fuck off ads. Yep, tier 1 and prime. Thank you.
Imagine getting ads when you can just...
Y'all good? Our ads over now? I think they're over. Alright, so they buffed this. They buffed faster ignite. Like, faster poison. Is faster bleed good? I guess it is in most cases. As long as you have enough attacks to do with Crimson Dance. Faster poison is a useful stat, but not something you care about super much. Super much, it's a word. Faster ignite is the good shit. But rolling influence boots for this mod, it's hard. Emberwick was too good. So now instead Emberwick is just 20% more damage. I feel like I'd rather just use like a well-rolled dot multi-ring instead. Isn't Emberwick applying not the highest ignite? Yeah, Emberwick is bugged. Like the first ignite is the highest one, and the second ignite is like the most recent one or something like that. Okay, up to the top now. So, just to recap, for Cold Dot and for Fire Dot, for some Fire Dot builds. Not all Fire Dot builds. Like Burning Arrow can still use this. But like Flamewall, Armageddon Brand kind of ignite, you're not gonna get fly out of this. But so like Cold Dot, you'd probably still be able to use this on like your Vortex, but I think your other Cold Dot skills probably would not maintain. It's elemental damage. Oh, it does not work at all for Dot at all? So it's hits, dude. This is a Slayer treatment. This this was an intentional nerf at least. But no, this still works for Burning Arrow, but not for Cold Dot, right? It doesn't work for Cold Dot, but it still works for Ignites. So EE is gone entirely, removed from Cold Dot. EO entirely 100% gone from Cold Dot. But still for Fire Dot, and I didn't actually play EE on my Burning Arrow build. But also my Burning Arrow build was dog shit. So Cold Dot just lost both entirely, they're just gone. Which means that Cold Dot needs to, bare minimum, all of their dot things need to be doubled. Wait, what? Wait, that number's really big. But didn't they nerf skills down here or something? Like nerf fire dot skills? Okay. Whew. I was about to say, Burning Arrow would be insane with that. Then I saw this, like, so Burning Arrow, this was like more than double of the Ignite. Alright, I feel like I'm gonna need some context down here. Fireball no longer has more damage tonight. Okay, so did they remove all of the more damage with Ignite multipliers? Dude, Archmage Ignite is like might be back now. We'll see. Not all. I mean, Fireball's gone. Armageddon Brand, base damage buffed by a fuck ton. But they lowered its activation frequency, lower crit chance, more hit damage to branded enemy. So yeah. Don't skip. The problem is they put this right here. I need context. Like, you see this and it's like, what the fuck? Ignites do way more damage, but then it's like there's a reason for that, and it's because they changed stuff elsewhere. Morance looks incredible. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, Cold Dot. What? Oh yeah, Cold Dot's dead. It doesn't exist. What the fuck? Oh, I was looking at level 1s, okay. I didn't look at level 20s, I looked at level 1s and I was like, what the fuck is this? Okay, so this is not double. I don't know about that. Like, sure, if you have Delirium rings, and you have all the Bis influence things that got buffed of their new highest tier, like, you'll be getting some back. But I'm fairly certain versus, like, Cyrus, if you had just, like, a normal amount of, like, resist reduction from exposure plus a curse, like, wasn't EE, like 70% more damage? Like, on its own, and then EO as well was 40%. Like, I feel like if this isn't doubled, it's not enough. Where's Vortex at? 2015. Yeah, I don't think Cold Dot is gonna be the move in Self-Found. Tree saves you points. True. How many points though? Like, where's my Cold Dot and Opium? Alright, so I feel like my pathing here wouldn't change. Pathing here would change. You could drop this pathing for something else, but like I don't know what it would be. It's like you save. How many points was that even? Because you just spend 3 extra to drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's a jewel slot, so like 5 points saved. EE was way more than 25%. Versus bosses. Like, on this tree right now, it's 46% more damage. I think this character has This is dual curse with exposure. If instead it was a single curse build, 51% more damage. And it does stack with exposure. Currently. In the future it doesn't, but in the future EE is down here. So it doesn't matter. But you know, with both .dps 689, with neither .dps 324, that's less than half. And the skills were not buffed by more than half, but they did buff .multi rolls on gear, so if you have full BIS .multi gear and like Delirium rings, I think you'll do like a little more, but also one thing that is true, this is not full uptime. Because you're vortexing every 0.8 seconds or something, and your Stormbrand only hits it like 4 times a second, so there is like slight times when EE is reversed. So if EE says like plus 51, it's probably like plus 40. Or like plus 45. But still, like these... You do save gem slots, you save a little bit of passive points. It's not, like, Cold Dot is not dead, but it's not better than it was last patch, I think is where it's at. I think that this gear doesn't have Cold Dot. It doesn't have Dot Multi on like any of this shit. Like imagine if you just had like Dot Multi rings plus gloves plus neck as well. As good as Fire Dot? Maybe, we'll see. Like Fire Dot might be really good, but also it might be really bad. I haven't gotten through all the changes yet. Alright, what's the Righteous Fire change? Righteous Fire does almost double the life based and like 60% more on the flat. And it also lost EE and EO. Cold Dot doesn't work as for mapping now though, this is true. What about Scorching Ray? Scorching Ray 60-ish% more. Yeah, did people actually use Searing Bond with like their RF Scorching Ray builds? That's like some psycho stuff. But yeah, it seems like they're trying to just like even them out as best they can. What about Flamewall? So Flamewall, I did not play EE on my Ignite build. So Flamewall only lost EO. Which this is like, this makes up for EO, right? It's about 40%. This is 50%, right? Because it'd be 750 plus that, yeah. This is like 48 to 50%. So this is a buff to Flamewall. Yeah, Zai, it should. So like down here it says you can check the lore Armageddon brand. Like their math, they're in fucking, their math says Armageddon brand will deal 10% more ignite damage down here. And with the change to EO plus Flamewall, that will deal about 10% more damage as well. And also Dot Multi on neck, gloves has been buffed. Dot Multi's been added to rings as a possible stat. So an Armageddon brand Flamewall build this patch should be better than it was last patch. By at least 10%. Maybe, yeah, Jules too. Flamewall got over nerfed in 3.15. I completely agree. Flamewall got fucked in 3.15. Better than cremation? Fuck cremation. Yeah, I did like Fire Dot for sure looks a little better this patch than last patch. Cold Dot looks the same, right? To me at least. Armor base perm fortified TR. I don't know about TR. I did make one of these builds, which doesn't work anymore because clusters got changed. Good old Fizz T-Shot build. But that's brick now, and I have to redo aura math. Like all the builds that I play probably have to redo aura math. You have more room for auras now? Yeah, but for cold dot, that's purely defensive auras. You're not going to gain offensive auras. Yeah, fire dot looks a little nicer. I might be convinced to try to league start that if I can make a build that looks good. I really hope I can, because I want to play some fire dot. Hex blast dots? None. Never thought about it a single time, never will. Archmage Fireburst Ellie? Yep. That's the first thing I said when I saw this. I was like, oh, but they removed all these modifiers? Like, yep, Archmage Ignite is probably gonna be a thing. Skip to Flame Surge? Okay, what are, so I already read this, I need to read all these. Fireball lost its multiplier. Overall damage 33% higher. Dude, Val Fireball builds are a lot of fun, for sure. 33% higher on Fireball. Discharge. Ignite Discharge is 60% higher. But Ignite Discharge feels so bad to play. Flame Blast. 75% bigger ignites. Is Val Flame Blast actually good? Like, how much more dot damage does Val Flame Blast do compared to Flame Blast? Oh yeah, that's true, Zai. Ignite Discharge can't maintain EO. Would Flame Blast proccing EO give Val Flame Blast a damage boost? It wouldn't, right? I don't think it would. You can get EO on Flame Blast 100%. You just apply a big 10 stack hit of Flame Blast, and then you just spam 1 stacks. And then afterwards you get another big 10 stack. You can for sure get that. I don't know what this skill does though. Oh, it explodes every 3 stages. Oh, yeah, you might proc EO with this if you have a little bit of crit. Giving up rolling for a good ignite. True. Incinerate is no longer in the game. We realized after we changed it back in 2015 that for the best, it should just be deleted. We're sorry. That's a shame. Right, quality on Anomalous Firestorm no longer grants stuff that I don't know what that means. I don't care about alt quality gems. If using alt quality, the ignite's now 110% higher. Wait, is this OP? Oh yeah, true. So the base Firestorm. Wait, does base Firestorm and PoE not have a ignite multiplier on it? Or they just didn't remove it? Dude, Firestorm looks really cool. I went and like attacked in BA with like Unleash, Spell Cascade, Firestorm. Like, goddamn, it looks cool. Fireburst. Wasn't it 1 second in the past, and then they made it 1.5, and then now they're making it 1 again? Like when Dan played this, it was 1 second, right? Why is everyone smiling? Oh, yep. Okay, that's what that emote is. Shit, EO uptime? You think Fireburst would have bad EO uptime? If it was proccing every second, with a little bit of CDR proccing every 0.8 seconds? Like, you only need 10% crit. Like, just Inspiration, no Control Destruction hits that, right? You can also use, like, 1 flash suffix for increased crit. I think you'll have EO uptime on this. However, wait, does... That would, like, fuck your mana, though, so bad. If you were playing... our Archmage with this, you'd be casting every 0.8 seconds with Archmage, right? That would shred. Like, you can't get enough mana regen for that in the current game. Like, no way. I'll look at just an Ignite version again though for sure. You can't back my Charvers though? Why not? So the problem with Hex Blast and Doom Blast is I literally have never read these things before. I don't know what they look like or what they do. So I have no context for what any of these things mean. Like I know in the past people have talked about Hex Blast Ignite being a thing. And like maybe it will be. Like I don't know. Fire now has some changes to this stuff. 7.1% more Ignite. Was Divine Ire really one of the highest Ignite damage skills? Yeah, Zai for sure. I definitely vibe with that. You think RF will actually be pretty good? Really? Isn't RF in like the same spot as Cold Dot? I guess this number is like a lot bigger than Cold Dot. This is like 75% more. How much of the damage comes from like if you have like 9k life and like 3k ES? Like how much of the damage is coming from your life and ES compared to the flat? Yeah, so I feel like RF is probably going to do similar damage numbers. Like the same as Cold Dot, it's going to do similar damage numbers, but you're not going to have to worry about EE anymore. And you save those passive points. I think my pathing to EE and EO on RF is actually really bad. It's just 3 points each, just raw point loss, no pathing value, which is bad. So I think that's nice. And like RF didn't look like bad damage. And also RF is going to get a lot more regen this patch. The numbers in Searing Bond? Well, the thing with Searing Bond is like, I think the way I would play Searing Bond is if I had an RF Scorching Ray build, you would just have Searing Bond in like a 4-link somewhere if you had the slots for it. And you'd only drop it on map bosses. This was my RF pathing. I tried to only do one cluster. I think optimal RF probably plays 2 clusters. I don't know what to do with this. Is this correct? This feels so wrong. But if you put it here, you lose combat stamina. If you put it here... Wait, why is that spiked? If you put it here, you lose Holy Fire. So you just don't go combat stamina? There is no way that RF lost regen with this version. Put it on. Oh right, you can put it here now instead. Yeah, that's true. Before you couldn't put it here because it killed EE. But now you can put it here. Inquisitor Juggernaut? Hell yeah, dude. Although this is worthless now. So you that feels bad. Oh no, you would take my Never Matter. You would do it like this instead. I think. This is like 1, 2, 3. This is 4 points for it here. Whereas here it's 2 points. But this, if you put it here, you lose 1 life node, you lose strength pathing, and you lose combat stamina. So I think you'd put it here instead. But this also bricks these 2 nodes, so then maybe you'd path differently. Out of the start. I never expect these though in the first place. Because if you weren't, I guess this is more points because you wouldn't be here naturally. Like, I fucking hate Glorious Vanity so much. It's like this build for sure gains regen next patch. Like, because I'm not playing Endurance Charge based regen at all. Yeah, this is ugly as fuck. You just say screw combat stamina. And now you have a lot of points to play with. Yeah, I mean, the ideal way to play RF is 100% to play 2 clusters. No Transcendent Mind. Do I look like I'm playing in fucking Trade League, dude? Life nodes. Life nodes are gonna like definitely be more valuable for sure. 600k damage. It's a solid 1.2 mil. Is that Adam's SPOV? I don't know about the helm. But no, no, there is not Adam's SPOV. This POV is garbage. But I don't know how you make the helm for RF. Or if it's possible. Like, it'd certainly be Crafted Life if you made it. But I have no idea like how you'd work on making that in the first place. In Self-Found. Obviously in Trade League you just trade and get whatever you want. Alright, back to this. Penance Brand, nope. Oh, Explosive Concoction, huge! Alright, let's see this. No longer has winners with ignites, now has plus dot multi with ignites if charges were consumed from Ruby Flask. This is basically damage changes. Ignite from the skill is now 155% higher. You had plus 50 dot multi. And it's still garbage. Yeah, you can't spam essences on it. 6 adjust to counter them or die. So do you just do like Delirium gloves for a 5-link? For your RF? How do you even 6-link RF? Like you have burning damage and then you just like what, swap increase the AoE and conk? And then you could like put Scorching Ray in like your gloves, like Delirium gloves? Restoration. Does that work? Yeah, if you have efficacy on it, because it uses the tag? POB says no. Life tap? Oh wait, does FKC not add the tag, but life tap does? So you can go life tap and then restoration? I mean, is that even worth it? It's not, right? Like there's no way that's worth it. Oh, Swift Affliction? Yeah, dude. This is all cringe. But yeah, that's better. Then if it was in your chest, you would need burning damage somewhere, which would be instead of inspiration, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure RF would be playable. Yeah, you would just trigger life tap with like shield charge or something like that. Okay, so Armageddon Brand, 10% more damage, Flamewall, 10% more damage, and you don't have to worry about EE, which I didn't anyways. You save points on EO pathing. Alright, so they're still taking EO. Probably. Maybe. Probably. The thing is, EO does like no damage. Or sorry, Armageddon Brand does like no damage. Shattering Steel is now hits only? What the fuck? This was not an ignite. It was for the bleed. What the fuck? It doesn't just have having to multiplier stat for bleed, which is what it was. What the? That's some. The fuck? I think they just kind of forgot that bleed is an ailment, I guess? Explosive Burnout is Explosions deal. I mean, also to be fair though, Shattering Steel is like too good in the early game, so like this is only relevant for like levels like 1 to 30. and it like probably deserved to get nerfed in the early game because it's pretty OP, but like that nerfing the early game was not the intended target of these changes. They just kind of forgot that people use Chance to Bleed Shattering Steel in like 90% of builds. Alright, Explosive Arrow now has more damage with hits per explosive arrow on the target. Previously hits and ailments. Yeah, it definitely had a bleed multiplier. No, it does not. Sentinels of Purity have less life. I have no idea what this shit is. I have no idea what that is at all. Frostbomb deals more damage. Oh no, less damage. So I guess fuck using that skill for early game now. That's kind of weird. Oh no, it has this for early game. So they gave it an extra little multiplier for hits. And nerfed the base damage because of Ignite. Okay, I already read all that. I wonder what damage this is up to now. A very important note for Armageddon Brand that I didn't read yet. Pretty sure I read it. Deals more damage. No longer has more damage with Ignite or Chance to Ignite. It now activates every 1 second instead of 0.75, so it ticks slower. Basically, chance to load a little bit, so your EO time's a little bit worse. Has some hit damage stuff. Overall Ignite damage is increased by 10%. Firestorm and damage by 2.5, I could. Firestorm. First impact, 239. Times 2.5 is like 560 or so. 580, 600, something like that. Whereas Armageddon Brand, Ignite would be like, what, 370? But the Armageddon Brand is not killing shit, that's Flamewall. And I think Armageddon Brand probably would feel way better to play when you're clearing packs, because this is a 0.4 cast time, whereas Firestorm is like 0.7, right? 0.75. Or didn't someone say Flame Surge got changed? I didn't see that anywhere. Maybe that's a different thing. Okay, yeah. Alright. What's this? This is the Burning Arrow nerf. So Burning Arrow no longer has a second burning effect. But it has higher damage here. And it attacks slower, and it's harder to get this, but if you're playing Elementalist, you don't care about this. I really wonder about this. Because previously on Burning Arrow, the burning portion dealt twice the damage of the Ignite when stacked. But now base Ignite was buffed by by what? Enough to be like close to the dot damage. And then there's a little bit more dam. I feel like this is the buff to Burning Arrow. Oh right, I forgot. No, it's losing the multiplier. Is it losing the multiplier? They didn't include it down here. Burning Arrow. I don't think it is losing the multiplier. So like, with this POB, and this is a garbage POB, this build sucks ass, I didn't put too much time into it. You have 529k ignite and 1 mil dot for a total of like 1.5 mil-ish. Instead you'd have 1.3 mil. Ignite only, so there's no ramp. It's just ignite, that's a good thing. Attack slower, but there's no ramp, so you don't care about attacking slower. The base damage of the gem is increased by, what's that, like 18% more? And it has 200 to 300 flat. Like, that is 100% a buff to Burning Arrow in every way. The ramp portion is removed, and it does more overall damage. Now, is it enough of a buff to matter? I don't know about that. Like, I don't think this POB is actually, like, complete garbage. I obviously wouldn't use this chest anymore. But, like, say this number was, like, 20 instead of 16. That number was higher as well. Like, this has, like, all this, like, flat damage and shit on it. This POB is, like, not bad for damage. Like, if all of these jewels were higher. Like, it's probably not gonna, like, it probably wouldn't break past 2 mil that easily. You also might not play Immolate though, because of the extra flat. You'd play like Swift instead. I guess you can just keep Immolate in to account for the new flat. You'd play Swift instead. And then you'd multiply that 744k by 2.5 and then by like 1.18. That's like 2.2 mil ignite. That's not terrible. Yeah, Zai, don't go there. The amount of comments I've had to read from fucking just unbelievably stupid people that say evasion is bad because of entropy is absolutely unreal. You're having a hard time convincing people that spell suppression is better than dodge. Well, you have to understand, if you're trying to convince people on the cursed forum, you're talking to people that are playing like 4k life builds with no defense. For them, taking half damage means they probably still die. Whereas avoiding the damage entirely with dodge means they live. Thankfully for them, they can just click acro and still have dodge and it's fine. Yeah, Zai, there's such garbage arguments. Like, there was someone talking about the nerfs to like Raider with regards to the changes to evasion, blind, and phase echo. And Raider is going to be squishier by a little bit. But they're like, the thing is, like, I have like capped dodge and spell dodge because I'm using Val Grace and Elusive. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, you're actually trying to use math from this fucking standpoint? Like, come on. Like, yeah, and my POB has 8k life, which means I can't die because I always have 8k life, I guess. Yeah, my Berserk's always up, I always have flasks, my Endurance charges are both always up, and when ninjas have been procced, and I have a Mortal Call up, while Endurance charges are also up at the same time. Yeah, fucking fantastic. Yeah, I think Burning Arrow definitely looks a little more appealing. But, I don't know, like, one of Burning Arrows you can't shield charge. Alright. What? What is happening here? Flame Sage is getting a new burning ground mechanic that deals additional ignites on the target. What? So you can like flame surge and it'll like make just is like a multiplier on your ignite basically. That's really interesting. I need some numbers for that. So instead of just like fishing for bigger ignites always, you just like weave in those flame surges for burning ground. That could be huge.